Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I'm your host, Saeed. We do want to thank you for joining us tonight, viewers. Remember, we are live on Synergy from 7 to 8 p.m. Monday to Friday with a rerun the next day from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. And we're back right here in the night for another live. So, viewers, remember, Real Talk Finance is offering you 4% on our fixed deposit. Remember, we are giving you your interest up front. We are the only financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago that is actually giving you interest up front on fixed deposit. Remember that, viewers. Only at Real Talk Financing, you're going to get that. Also, be members of the credit union, viewers. Go up on the Real Talk Credit Union Facebook page. We have our requirements pinned to the top of the page. Get your requirements. Contact the office. Set up an appointment. Also, if you're looking for cash borrow and you don't know where to turn, the banks turn you down, your friends not helping you, you can't go nowhere and look for money borrow, not a problem. You can contact us, viewers. We have a loan center at number 14 Caroni Savannah Road in Shoguners. We have a loan center at 25 Cipero Street in San Fernando. And we have one at 132 Cipero Road, Victoria Village in San Fernando. So if you're looking for cash borrow, viewers, not a problem. We can do that also. As long as you have some form of collateral, not a problem. Our numbers were on screen, viewers. Contact the office, set up an appointment, and we will meet with you. Also, those of you having spiritual problem, I'm a spiritual consultant. You want to meet me, call any one of my office, set up an appointment, and we will meet. So, viewers, while we are saying that, we are also saying Real Talk equipment rental. We have a piece of equipment for sale, also for rent. We have a wrecker and an excavator. Those of you interested to go in the trucking business, transport, we have the perfect piece of equipment for you. So remember that, viewers, this truck is a wrecker, is a sliding bed wrecker, plus there is a crane. You can use the crane for lifting heavy equipment, putting it on your truck, and you can transport it. As you can see, a beautiful piece of equipment, viewers. It's a 7-ton wrecker. So you could do wrecking, heavy equipment, truck, bus, vehicles. You could wreck with the wrecking part of the truck. And also, if you have anything heavy to lift, you see there's a crane on the truck also. You can lift. Put it on your tray and you're transporting. So those of you looking to go into the transport business, this is the perfect and the ideal truck for you. Remember, you're doing 2 jobs in one with this truck. A wrecking service and a transport company truck also, if that is what you're looking at. Also, viewers, we have a wrecker for sale, not a wrecker, excavator. It's a 306E, a new model. You're all going in the construction business, you are a contractor, you're looking for an excavator to buy for your personal use, is not a problem. Contact me, viewers. Also with this excavator, the black grader in front, that it's a graded road. So while you're digging the drain to the side, you're shaping out your road and you're grading it going. It's a perfect 2-in-1 combination, viewers. So it's 3391670. Contact me, viewers. We can set up a viewing for those 2 beautiful pieces of equipment. So, as we start our program tonight. Oh, well, before we go to the program, persons of interest. Nice. So we're looking for persons of interest now. Saieed Ali. Now, Saieed Ali, where he used to live, he is not there anymore. We getting information, you know. We're doing researches. He moved out from the location he was living on. So it's not difficult. Those of you who, we're looking for the car also. $10,000 is being paid, viewers, for anyone who has this car or anyone who can bring this car to us. It's a Toyota Aqua PED 9540. It's $10,000. You bring Tyreek, you bring the car, and $10,000 cash is yours. Remember that, viewers. Remember that. Also, we're looking for the pretty girl. The pretty girl refusing. Megan. Yeah. call the office. I come in, and they can't reach you coming from China. And the container from China ain't leave yet, but you're coming. But nevertheless, the more you run, is the more we're going to put your picture up. And it costs me nothing to actually do this because this is my program. And the company you borrow money from, well, it's Real Talk Financing. Document signed. But nevertheless, you choose to get a bad name, it's not a problem. That is okay with me. Remember, I have license to do this. Call her good night.
Hello, good night, Saeed.
Go right ahead, my dear.
Pleasant evening to you.
To you also.
We are from the New Grant area, right? And I need to put out something to WASA. I keep complaining when I call the WASA line. The water is locking off for too long in the school trace. New Grant. It has the by the cemetery there, this whole little area. Right? It's always off for like 2 weeks and more. They will open the water for like 4 or 5 days. It comes very low. Right now I have no water. And I have a request since the 21st. The water is locking off for too long. I don't know who in WASA is really doing this. But if it's open water at least 2 days a week, that people could fill back up their water, right? You wouldn't have a problem. But when they lock off water for so long, and it have no lines like major line bills and things, and it have areas like Brothers Road, like Sanko Road, all those that right around have water right through. It have areas water not locking off, they're not regulating water. The problem is they lock off water. I don't know who to contact again besides the WASA hotline when I call them.
All right, not a problem. Thank you so much for highlighting it. We're going to make some calls and we're going to see if New Grant could get some water, especially in the school trace area. Thank you so much, my dear. So as we start our program, viewers, remember, you're having a problem in your community, feel free to call in the program 2386716. The number is on screen, and highlight the issue in your community. Remember, those who are responsible for your community is the MP for the area and the councillor. And once you call and you complain about the community, remember the blast will go on them. Not only in Trinidad, but internationally when they travel, they're going to be faced with a backlash of, oh, you're not taking care of your community, but you want to come and tell us X, Y, and Z. Remember that, viewers. So, the House of Representatives has agreed to give a waiver until December 31st for penalties and interest on sums owed under the Registration of Clubs Act, National Insurance Act, Income Tax Act, Valid Added Tax Act, Stamp Duty Act, and the Property Tax Act. Finance Minister Clongenberg said, in this current amnesty, the government expected to collect $1.5 billion from 20,000 people/businesses. Listen to this.
Now, amnesties have also proven to be a very valuable source of revenue to various governments. As I indicated, I read it out for you. Just let me read it out again. In 2011, the amnesty yielded 1.6 billion. 2016, 766 million. 2019, 2.3 billion. 2021, 1.1 billion, and so on. During the last tax amnesty, a total, as I indicated, of 1.59 billion was collected, but it was collected from 18,873 taxpayers who took advantage of the amnesty period. We expect this particular tax amnesty to be accessed by approximately 20,000 taxpayers, and we expect to collect approximately $1.5 billion from this particular amnesty. So amnesties, while they should not be encouraged, have been mutually beneficial to both taxpayers and to the state.
Now, viewers, Inboard announced that for the first 6 months, the government would pay any service charge payable to FCB incurred by people using FCB to pay their property tax bills. He also said a prior extension until December 20th to pay property tax will now be extended by the bill until December 31st. So viewers, those of you who are paying property tax, they have moved the date from the 20th of December to the 31st of December. Now, Oropouche East MP Devendranath Tanku complained that the government amnesty was seemingly rewarding wrongdoers. He said those companies owing the government VAT had already raked in these sum from each sales made to customers and so should pay it onwards. So Trinidad and Tobago, a burning issue in our country. A burning issue. Recent release by the FIU director. If you are buying US currency from a relative visiting Trinidad and Tobago, you may be in breach of the Exchange and Control Act. This is because there must be authorization from the central bank to do so. The issue was raised during a joint select committee on finance and legal affairs. JSC member Lawrence Hislop asked, if I am a regular citizen and a family member comes from the US and they have foreign currency, are you saying to the public that they are breaching the Foreign or the Exchange and Control Act by purchasing that foreign currency from that family member? In response, the director of FIU, Nigel Stoddart, stated that the legislation was clear with regards to a person who does not have an authorization license from the central bank for purchasing and selling foreign exchange. Hold on, Trinidad and Tobago. He said, if someone is returning in the case of a family member, that person is not, in his view, in the business of buying or selling foreign exchange. However, once someone in the capacity goes to the financial institution, the bank have their customers' due diligence requirement that they would perform and include in that would be source of funds, and an honest person would indicate where they would get their funds. Hold on. The view is they determine if it is considered suspicious and can file a report with the FIU. Now listen to this.
To answer Member Hislop, the legislation is clear in the sense of persons who do not have a license from the central bank, an authorized license, in terms of purchasing or transacting, purchasing and selling, of foreign exchange, as the case may be. Knowing our culture, that aspect of it, if someone is returning, as the example you gave in terms of a family member, generally that person is not, in my view, is not in the business of selling or purchasing foreign exchange. However, as we indicated, once someone in that capacity goes to the financial institution, as the example you would have given, and of course the banks they have their customer due diligence requirements that they would perform, and including that would be the source of funds. And being an honest transaction, an honest person would indicate where they would have gotten the funds from. Again, it comes back to the legislation, and the view maybe that they determine that that is considered suspicious and file a report with the FIU-TT.
Now, if someone's come from abroad and they go to the bank, that's what they're saying, eh? You're going to the bank to sell your US currency. That is one aspect. I understand what he's saying. Now, the other aspect is that if my cousin come from the US and I purchase that US from him, I don't have a license. So where that does leave me? Could I be charged? According to what them saying, we are breaching because I don't have an authorized license to purchase. That is what he is saying. But if you go to the bank to sell a US currency, the banks are authorized. So when you now give them a US currency because you're selling it to the bank, it's obvious you're going to say, where did you get this? Well, this is my ticket, this is my passport. I recently came in Trinidad. I have $200 to sell. You are the commercial banks. You have a license. Now your document, your passport will be photocopied, stating that the date you're coming to Trinidad. And then they will fill out their source of funds, which we have in the credit union also. And they will purchase it. But the real thing, that's the legal part of it, right? That's the legal part. My cousin coming from the US, you go to the bank, where you get this? Well, I now come in, look my passport, you scan it, you stamp it, the banks, they follow the source of fund, you attach it on when the person now coming in Trinidad and Tobago. That's the legal terms. But forget that. That's illegal. They have license. What I want to find out now, so if my cousin comes in from the US, now I then fly out, spend 2 weeks outside, do a little work, wherever the case may be. We all Trinidadians go abroad, we stay 5 months, we work for somebody across town, we come back to Trinidad. You come back with US currency, and well, it's obvious black market is paying more. I paying $7.50. Right? So those who come in with US, you know what? We go on my side because Saieed paying $7.50, bank probably paying $6. Who knows? So by me purchasing this US currency from Navin, according to the director is telling me I do not have an authorized license to purchase. So now, this leads me now. Why? In a time like this, when the businessmen of Trinidad and Tobago is starving for US currency to keep their business afloat, why did he, the director of FIU, choose to drop this bombshell on a time like now? I am a businessman in Trinidad and Tobago. I am the president of Realtor Credit Union. I am a licensed money lender. I have an equipment rental company. And I just have to go by the bank for 7 o'clock or 7:30 just to reach in a line of 1 to 10. Hear me good, hear me well. I'm a big businessman in Trinidad and Tobago. And a popular soul also. And I just have to reach in the bank, in front of the bank, to join a line, to reach between 1 to 10 customer. And I am standing in that line there to go to the counter to ask for US currency. And you know what I would get? You want to know how much I would get? A popular man like Saieed, a popular businessman in Trinidad and Tobago, the president of Realtor Credit Union, the director of Realtor Group, also the director of Realtor Equipment Limited. You know how much I get in? $200 US. US. So how how long will it take me to save $100,000 to buy an excavator from Japan? You tell me. You tell me. But if I buy this 200 US or 1,000 US from Navin coming into Trinidad and Tobago, I am breaching the law by buying this 1,000 US. The banks don't have it to give me, you know. They don't have it to give me. But because I purchased it from Navin, I breached the law. Tell me if that is right. The banks don't have it. The financial institution who has the license don't have it to give me. All I get in, 200. I have to go by the bank Monday to Friday, 7 o'clock every morning. Join a line between 1 to 10 people to get $200. In 5 days' time, I will get $1,000. 5 days. How many businessmen in Trinidad and Tobago suffering for US currency? How many businessmen in Trinidad and Tobago have a quarter of a container pack in China and don't have money to finish pack it? I have a container in Miami and I can't even get US to bring it. It's halfway full. And we don't have US currency to bring it. So you know what? My container is stalled in Miami. You know why? I cannot get the sufficient amount of US currency that I need. So tell me now, Trinidad and Tobago, what do you think now about this statement the director made in a time when our businessmen are shutting down business because of lack of currency, US currency in Trinidad and Tobago? Imagine that. So listen this now. We're going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to open the phone lines. And I want to hear what you have to say concerning this US currency issue that is plaguing our nation and what the director said that you heard after this break.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtalk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtalk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Become a member of Realtalk Credit Union, now located at number 14 Caroni Savannah Road, Chaguanas. Open a fixed deposit with Realtalk Investments and get 4% on interest with interest payment being paid upfront. Get in contact with us at 238-6716, 231-6219 or 339-1670. Realtalk Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited. Plant a seed today for a better tomorrow. Throws you a curveball, and you need a clear path forward. Trust Realtalk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
So welcome back to Real Talk viewers. Remember, we at Real Talk, we are offering you 4% on our fixed deposit viewers. We are the only one that is giving you interest up front on our fixed deposit. Remember that. So here it is. Staying on our topic. Hislop then asked, how much was the FIU concerned about the illegal sale of foreign currency? As he noted that there are several retail outlets throughout the country advertising the purchase of US dollar. However, Stoddard said this was outside of the FIU remit and insisted they would rely generally within the central bank. Listen to this.
How much of a concern is the illegal sale of foreign currency considered by the FIU? And I ask that from the standpoint that you have so many retail outlets throughout of various sizes throughout Trinidad and Tobago that have these signs posted, we purchase USD at 7 to 1 and so on, or 750 to 1. How much of a concern is that to the FIU?
Again, most of those, what you would have described, remember, is outside of the FIU remit in terms of what the FIU would actually be privy to in most instances would be what the financial institutions or the listed business report us via STRs. Like you, I do travels and see the signs in the stores as well, but that would fall within another entity remit in terms of the legality of it or how that is treated in terms of that type of activity. Like I said, there's a culture in Trinidad and Tobago that prevails, but that aspect would be with another authority in terms of who determines in the use of or the trade in foreign currency, which is generally done by the central bank.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, according to the Exchange Control Act, Chapter 79.50, Section 6, number 1, transaction involving the buying, selling, borrowing, or lending of foreign currency should only be conducted through authorized dealer. How many authorized dealers are there in Trinidad and Tobago? Only commercial banks, or we would say banks or credit union. Now the thing is, listen this now. Listen this now. If the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago and the business community in Trinidad and Tobago cannot get sufficient amount of currency, US currency, from a legal entity which is licensed to deal with US currency, if we cannot get that sufficient amount to fund our business, what are we to do? What are we to do? I would love the director to answer these questions. This is what I want the director to answer. Now understand this. I am not going against the director. He has his part to play in the FIU that is keeping track. The legal part of it. He has his job. I am not going to condemn that. I am not going to bash that. That is his job to make sure finance is being monitored. And I respect his office for that. I respect that. Good thing I have a license money lender, you know. I have my license. Now, caller, good night.
Very, very good evening to you, Mr. Saieed.
To you, my friend.
You know the old saying, exchange is no robbery? So if my friend come from the States, he comes to spend a few days and he say, boy, look, I have a 500, give me some TT for it. We exchange, we do a simple transaction. What these people should be concerned about is the borders open, the front door locked tight and the back door open.
Correct.
And guns and drugs flowing in. That is what they should worry about. Not about a simple thing like your family come and they give you a little money. So I am telling you that Randy Mitchell, remember Randy Mitchell who said that you have to leave the country and go away.
You have to travel to see what you're at. Yes, yes.
But that 200 US they're planning to give you, that's when it's right in duty free, you know. And when you go there, you have to stand on your suitcase by the side of the road and beg it.
Thank you, my friend. I understand what you're saying. Thank you. Now, Trinidad and Tobago, listen to this. Inspector of the financial institution at the central bank, Patrick Solomon, reiterated that according to the law, now we all understand this, according to the law, people must be authorized, dealers, to buy and sell foreign exchange. So this is what I want to ask Solomon now. You see, when you're making statements like these, I going away for a 14 days vacation. The bank cannot supply me with 5,000 US for my 14 days vacation. So in order to buy this currency now, you are trying to tell me I had to go to central bank to get a license, wait however long for that license, and then go and purchase 5,000 US currency on the outside to go for my vacation? Common sense is a heck of a thing. Now, I would say this. We understand the legal part of it. The legality part of it, we understand that. I am a businessman in Trinidad, and this had to be greeted with $200 US over the counter. Who fixing that? I had to join a line from Monday to damn Friday. Reach for 7:30 to get on a line between 1 to 10 to get $200 US. And my vacation trip now is costing me 5,000 US. How long would it take me to acquire the 5,000 US? And keep in mind, when you go to them, you had to say, well, you know, this is my ticket that I booked. So these men in authority, I understand they are functioning within their office, within the legality. I understand that. He stated that if an authorized and unauthorized person advertise the purchase and the sale of US, it is an offense. But the central bank was looking at potential amendment to the Exchange Control Act to strengthen Trinidad and Tobago financial regulatory framework. Listen to this.
This, according to the Exchange Control Act, you must be an authorized dealer in order to buy and sell foreign exchange. However, as part of our surveillance of the market, we have seen the ads and we have sought legal opinion in terms of whether it is legal or not. And based on the opinions that we got, it is saying that if somebody purchases or sells foreign exchange, they are committing an anticipatory offense of conspiracy, aiding, abetting, attempting, or counseling, or procuring the sale of foreign exchange contrary to our section 6.1. And therefore, if an authorized, unauthorized person advertise the purchase and sale, it is arguably an offense. However, we looked at the act and we asked legal counsel, senior counsel, their opinion, and they have the opinion that the legislation should have a specific offense. And in order to have this specific offense of advertising, we needed to amend the legislation. But in the interim, what we do, if there is something like a whistleblowing, we contact the TTPS, who will do an investigation. And once the investigation is completed, they refer it to the Director of Public Prosecution to determine whether or not there is a case to be had. So that's the process that we tend to follow in this situation.
Now again, I would say, I understand the legality part of it. But what am I, as a businessman now, cannot legally get it through the financial institution which is licensed to sell? What is my arguing point? We understand all the legal part of the buying and selling. You have to have a license. We understand that. If I didn't have a license to lend money, I could not come on national television and said, I am a licensed money lender. If you're looking for cash borrow, it's not a problem. There are certain requirements that you meet and we would lend you money. Now, coming to my business, I need US currency to buy. I, from time to time, advertise on my platform, which is being aired on national television across the globe, that I side am paying $7.50 for $1 US. And I am telling anybody in the public who have, I will buy. What is my arguing point? What is my arguing point? I had to go central bank now to get a license now to buy US currency to fund my business. I am not in the business of selling US currency. I am in the business of buying from the public, because the financial institute, as the commercial banks, they have license to buy and sell, but they cannot supply my needs at present. So what am I to do now as the director? As they are saying, I'm breaching the law by purchasing outside. How the hell am I breaching the law when the financial institution cannot help me? What is my arguing point? What is my arguing point? And he said they will contact the TPS to do an investigation. So I am asking Earl now, the Commissioner of Police, what is my arguing point? Side is selling US currency? No. Side you purchasing? Yes, to fund my business, to purchase items from Miami, from China, from New York, from Dubai, from Saudi Arabia, just to fund my business. What is my arguing point? Go before the court, stall my business, send home workers, and go to court? No, there must be a different way. I understand, don't get me wrong, I understand the legal part of it. I understand that. So my question is now, to the FIU officers and them who hold in high position or are simply investigating FIU officer, if you are going on vacation and you cannot get 5,000 US currency from the bank, what is your position? Are you going to suffer your wife and children because you cannot get it through the bank? Or are you going to purchase from friends and family outside? All you come good, you know. Trust me, it's Saieed Ali dealing with. So come very good. Come very good. You see, I gotta tell you something, eh? We need answers. And you know when this is coming up? This is coming up when the countries, thousands of businessmen are crying out for US currency. When this pops up. In a time like this. So what is the FIU saying to businessmen? Go seek a license? We don't want to sell the public. All we need is US currency so we could keep our business running. That is all we need. But sadly, having a US account in the bank, it can't even supply us. So what are we to do? And this is where the problem lies. We are not the bank. We are a business person. Caller, good night.
Yes, sir, good night.
Go right ahead, my friend.
Yes, sir, you're talking about the Control Exchange Act, right? Let me tell you something, right? In that act, they're supposed to be distributing all the foreign currency equitably among the business community and the public, right? So, and I clearly could tell you, after reading the articles that the businessman write to the IMF concerning this whole issue that central banks say they had no information concerning the Forex, and now they're coming out with the ETA. So people need to understand what is going on. Let me tell you something. The point you're making is a very good point, right? Because of the fact that the central bank is supposed to make the US currency available to the public. And then if they're buying black market, then they could come out and tell you, well, it's illegal and whatever the case may be. But if you're not getting it in the legal streams, what you're supposed to do?
Exactly.
What you're supposed to do as a businessman if you can't get legal and tell you go black market? Let me ask you one question, right? Is the FIU director in charge of investigating all financial transactions and anything to do with finance in the country?
Yes.
Let me ask you one question, right? Since the beginning of the year, since the public accounts became public from the Auditor General, 2.6 billion missing in the country, he come out and say anything about that? He come out and make any statement concerning we money, taxpayers' money that the finance minister cannot account for?
I was going to that.
But he come and talk to we about a 500 US to somebody coming from foreign and they want to tell you about that. But he needs to go so that. Let me tell you something. You see that director there? From that statement there, all he's telling me there is that he is our next soldier for the PNM. He's taking instructions from the finance minister. Alright, that's all I see in this. From me making a stupid out of time statement like that because the people on the ground here want to fight up for the US currency. We know where we're going through here. Let me go and find out $2.6 billion where the finance minister can't account for. You enjoy your night life.
Thank you, my friend. So, viewers, committee member Jayanti Lakshmidal also authorized to examine some threshold, including allowing business to accept a certain amount of money from members of the public. She added that relevant stakeholders need to take into consideration whether they want to create an offense that could then criminalize someone who buys foreign currency from relative returning from abroad. Trinidad and Tobago, we're going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to have discussions on this.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtalk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtalk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Caroni Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Become a member of Real Talk Credit Union, now located at number 14 Coroni Savannah Road, Chaguanas. Open a fixed deposit with Real Talk Investments and get 4% on interest with interest payment being paid upfront. Get in contact with us at 238-6716, 231-6219 or 339-1670. Real Talk Credit Union, Cooperative Society Limited. Plant a seed today for a better tomorrow.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery. At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the blaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
So Trinidad and Tobago, there's a list of companies that the central bank has released considering who are the authorized dealers of foreign exchange in Trinidad and Tobago. The list are long. You could go into the Real Talk Facebook page and we will post the amount of companies in Trinidad and Tobago and financial institutions that are legally tendering US currency. But I'll tell you something. Me being a businessman and my banks cannot supply me with the US currency I need, it's obvious I will go black market to buy. Because I will tell you something. I need my business up and running. Because this is a business that caused me to have a nice life. This is a business that is funding my program on television. This is a business that is employing workers. This is the same business that is giving workers a permanent place to earn money. Legally. Legally. So by the way, does anyone know those in high authority that are looking on, does anyone have the contact number for the director of FIU? I would love to call him directly and have an interview with him on television, just to answer some questions. It would be so nice to get a number for him. So nice. So maybe if anyone watching in high authority, you can call me tomorrow and give me his number. It will be nice. Now, I love this, eh? In May of this year, opposition leader Kamala Persad-Bissessar stated that the Financial Intelligence Unit, the FIU, could not account for $6.3 million. She said that if the situation was so, in the report then, the fraud, that's fraud and misconduct in public office, somebody will have to pay for that. Kamala added, imagine the FIU,
if this
the
is so,
same institution that is in charge of suspicious transaction, cannot account for $6.3 billion. Listen to this.
So it is in the report, then that is fraud. But more than that, it amounts to misconduct in public office. Misconduct in public office. And somebody will have to pay for that. They will have to pay for that. We will not let them rest. So the question comes now. Imagine the FIU, Financial Intelligence Unit, cannot account for $6.3 million spent. This is the same institution which is in charge of suspicious transactions. I mean, if you're laughing, what they say, you're crying. They're in charge of monitoring suspicious transactions, but they spend $6.3 million and can't find a piece of paper to prove who, how, what, when, why. As I laugh, I said, this has to be the biggest joke for these few days. Minister of Finance must move to provide documentation to support the spending of this $386 million. I ask again and ask with me, where the money gone?
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, do not blame me. I am just the messenger. I am just the messenger. Remember that. I am just the messenger. Caller, good night.
Oh, good night.
Go right ahead, you're live.
How are you going?
I'm good.
Well, I hear you say just now, you had him muted. You just said just now, if your cousin come from America and give you US, or sell you US, how the people will know?
My friend, thank you so much.
You will know that your cousin sell you money or give you money.
Thank you.
I want to ask again.
Thank you so much. Trinidad and Tobago, we have to wonder sometime. But nevertheless, they say it's a culture, it's a culture. If the culture keeps my business up and running, well then the culture will have to work for me. As we move along, if the salary increase proposed by the Salary Review Commission, SRC, on the 120th report are implemented, the state will pay more than $150 million in back pay. The SRC report evaluated the monthly earnings of 206 officers. It recommended that a 93.3% receive a recommendation wage increase of 4.5%, receive a recommendation wage decrease of 2.2% for the office of maintenance in the current salary. The Chief Executive Officer of WASA, Keatroy Holiday, is also set to earn $100,000 plus perks. Plus perks. This is circulating all over. All over it is circulating. Come back to me. Now viewers, come back to me. Now viewers, right now, the port have to stop protests and go back to work. Because negotiation cannot go further than where it is. Because they are asking for their 12%. And they cannot get it. Why? Because some judge in the industrial court found it fit for the port workers to stop their protest and go back to work, so that the country could continue. Who cares about the port worker? Who cares about the port worker? The CPO's office wants to make sure that you take the 4% or nothing for you. But there must be a large back pay for government officers. Correct? Now the UNC, Kamala said, while the back pay or while the pay increase would benefit her officers, her MPs, they would reject it in a time like this. They would reject it. So technically the UNC is rejecting the SRC 120th report. They don't want to raise. A good idea. And I believe the country will support Kamala in this act. Caller, good night.
Night, Saeed.
Go right ahead, you're live.
Saeed, I'm glad you're talking about this increase because you would have seen the report that if these increases are implemented, how much will be the back pay? The Prime Minister will get $1 million in back pay, and everybody else will get a big amount. But I want to give you some real figures.
Tell me.
Members of Parliament are entitled to a gratuity.
Correct.
Equivalent of 1/5 of what they earn.
Correct.
Now, this is the law. They have to vote for this in Parliament.
Yes.
And they get this gratuity every 5 years. Now, here what happens. Next year, the Prime Minister's gratuity will be $716,160. So next year, regardless of what they vote for, the Prime Minister's gratuity is $716,160. That is 1/5 of what he has worked for over the 60 months.
Correct.
Now, most of the Prime Minister and most of his cabinet ministers, they do not take their vacation leave during the year. So, the Prime Minister, whenever he's tired, he say, I get COVID, so he take a rest. Or on a weekend, he go to Barbados and play some golf and so on. The reason why they don't take vacation is at the end of the 5 years, they will have to be paid for the vacation.
Correct.
5 years vacation for the Prime Minister will be $298,000. $400,000. In other words, when next year comes, the taxpayer has to pay the Prime Minister $1,014,560. I worked it out. And cabinet ministers, the gratuity plus the buyout of the vacation leave would add up to $697,150 each.
Each MP.
So this is money they have to be paid next year, regardless of whatever law, whether this increase is passed on. So this is based on the old figure. On the old figure, the Prime Minister will get $1 million, and the ministers will get close to $700,000. I hope we ain't talking about how much money they have already taken in tax exemptions when they buy motor cars.
Well said.
You understand? And each one of them ministers would have benefited from at least $1 million over the 5 years in tax exemption from vehicles. So if you take $1 million and divide it by 60, that is over $10,000 per month they have already benefited from. I hope the country is listening. Thank you very much, Saeed.
Thank you, my friend. So let me just give you some figures here, viewers. If this come into effect, 41 members of parliament, they're going to split 5.96 million. 31 senators, 4.4 million. 24 cabinet MPs or ministers, we would say 9.3 million. The commissioner is going home with a whooping amount. 4 non-cabinet minister is going to get 129 million among many others. So viewers, we are out of time for tonight, but nevertheless we're going to continue this on another night. I am Saeed saying good night.